Hi, thank you for dropping by. My name is Lynda Phippen, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Ontario, Canada. And if you have any questions or anything that you would like to share with me or that I can share with you to help you along your journey of being creative, I would gladly do that. So let's get started. I have a couple of great ideas today, and I would love to share them with you. So let's get started. This is our annual catalog, and today I'm going to show you some ideas from the Sand and Sea Suite. There's nothing like a nice walk on the beach, especially when you're in the middle of a winter storm with lots of snow, which is what we are here in Ontario. So let me just show you what we're working with. The suite that we're working with is called Friends Are Like Seashells. And I've added a few pieces from this whale done. You'll see as we get moving along. There is only one die today, and that is this really pretty die that is going to be cutting out some seashells. And this is the embossing folder that coordinates with this die. So I'm going to show you how this all works and give you some great ideas. I am only using one piece of paper from the series, the designer papers, so this is quite pretty, but I'm just going to show you the one today. And also this pearlescent specialty paper, which has a nice shine to it. So again, I'll show you how we're going to work with that today. So let's get started. Here we go. So this is the first card that we're going to do, and we're just going to do it with the embossing folder. So I've gone ahead and cut the card base. I'll leave that there. I've cut the card base and used the embossing folder for this. And this is the pearlescent paper, which is shiny and it's quite pretty. And you can see all the detail from all of the seashells. It's very, very pretty. So you just put your paper into the folder and you put it through your embossing machine, and voila, this beautiful design. So the first thing we're going to do is, this is a really easy card, but it's really quite attractive. So we're just going to put some glue on the card and put it onto our card base. And then what I did was just make kind of a, I want to call it a belly band, but I know that's not what it is. But anyway, a something to put our sentiment on. And this is a piece of the pearlescent paper that I cut off that I didn't need. So we're just going to glue that on to our paper. Now this has one little embossed piece on it. You can see this little dot. So you can either cover it up or enjoy having it there. Actually, I think I'm going to use dimensionals for this. So we'll decide where we're going to put this first. guess it depends on which shells you like the best. So we'll try not to cover them up too much. Now on this particular card, or on this particular sentiment, I did have some little fish, or, you know, it doesn't matter what you put on it. But that for you is a little bit smaller than the hello, but let's just put a couple of fish on here. Okay. Then a couple of dimensionals, just to give it some height, so it doesn't stick on the paper all by itself. It's just taking the backing off. So I'm going to cover up the little dot and put, I have a few elegant gems to put on. You know, it doesn't matter how organized you are. There's always something missing. I don't know where it went. Okay, we'll use this one then. And then on the inside, I just put, there we go, just put 3 of those on there. I just stamped a shell, or a couple of shells, I guess, to finish off the card. So that was very easy. And what I always say about my cards is on the back, I always put made just for you by me, 100% Canadian. And then on my envelope, just decorate it up just a little bit, not too much. And that is card number 1. So that was pretty easy. So the second card that I want to share with you is the part of the die that goes on top of what we embossed on the first card. So you remember this total embossing? It goes on top and it will cut it out, and that's what it does. Isn't that pretty? Very pretty. So, and here's the pearlescent paper, and I did the embossing on the top and the bottom just to give you an idea. So I have it cut out already for you, but I did want you to see what it looks like when it's embossed. So pretty. It really, you don't need to do anything to it, which is exactly what we did on our first card. Not just enough to enjoy the shells by themselves. So this one here, I have oh my. Try to remember all this stuff. Okay, so this is the designer paper, and what I did for the front was just glue that on. These designer series papers have something on both sides. Although that is pretty, we do want to have a little bit more water looking. So that goes on there. And this one, I put, that purple is just tape that I used to keep the die in place. Dimensionals, that's what. I used dimensionals on a couple places on this. Maybe one more here. Just taking those off. Okay. So I place that in the center. And then I ended up on this one here is gluing down some of the other pieces. I didn't put them on dimensionals, but it still gave it some dimension, even though the whole thing is not. So I just glue some of those pieces that look like they're a little wild. And then I already went ahead and cut out the You've Been on My Mind. And I have a bit of the designer paper to put on. You've been on my mind. And some dimensionals on the back of that. There, I think that looks okay. And I just used these a few little emerald dots. That there's not really going to cooperate, I can see. Well, the nice thing, it doesn't matter where they go. One, two, three, four. We'll put one more. Let's see. Oh, looks good. Okay. On the inside, so you can see your sentiment, it's nice to have a lighter color because you can't see with the dark navy. So we'll put that on. And this paper is called Night of Navy. So we have the Night of Navy stamp pad, and we're going to put on a shell. And I'm going to pick the nice big one. Put it right in the corner. And we can put a few more shells on here. And then I left it open because sometimes when you're on my mind, we're not quite sure. Could be birthday, could be thank you, thinking of you, any number of things. So there is that card. And that was very simple as well. It looks beautiful, looks like we spent a lot of time, but as you can see, it didn't take that long to do. So that's card number 2. Oh, and on the envelope, I did put the shell on the side and a couple of shells on the back. Okay, so for card number 3, now this is a little more involved. So don't get nervous. Okay. So this card, again, using the same die, except this time I stamped it, which is adding color, and then I cut the shells away from each other so that they could be arranged a little differently. So I'll show you how I did that. So it's a few more colors, another stamp. So put this over here. Okay, so we have our base, our card base. And I stamped it first with the different colors, and then I put it through the embossing folder so that you can see a little bit of the texture. So I'm going to show you what I did in terms of coloring the greenery. The 2 colors that I used are dark old olive and light old olive. So I picked 2 different kinds of greenery. The long ones I did in the dark, and the light ones I did, or the with more leaves are in the light. So I just went ahead and I'll just show you how easy this is. So there's no shading. It really is just fun and easy just to color away. And alcohol markers seem to be very forgiving. Okay, so that's the light, and then the dark, again, is just simple coloring. It's not taxing on the brain at all. So that's what I did, and then put it through the embossing folder. And I'll show you how easily it is to put in here. Actually, I did it better this way, I think. This way. so it lines up. And you don't have to hold it in place with tape or anything, because once you get it where you want it, you just carefully place it in there and put it through your machine. So I've done that already. This one I finished coloring, so you didn't have to watch me color. And then I took my scissors and just cut them all apart. So a little fussy cutting, and if you missed a few pieces, you just trim it up. So there's one. Some of them you can leave the greenery on, like this one here I'm going to leave on. Let's see, I'll take this one off. Can leave those two pieces on. Just take some of this white off. So there's 3 already. And let's see what we can do here. I think I'm going to take that. And there really is no right or wrong way. So let's see if that'll work. Might have to cut a few more pieces off. Okay, so there's the card finished. Let's see what we can do here. And it doesn't have to look exactly the same by any means. So maybe we'll put this one here. And if it hangs over, then we just cut it off after. Now, I noticed I put some stamping on there ahead of time, so maybe we should try that first. Of course, I can't find what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the greenery and a few little rocks on the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to take Sahara sand. I'm going to put that on there. Let's see if we can get some greenery here. And even if it's covered up, that's okay. I got a few little, could be rocks, sand. And I put on I thought I was being efficient, but clearly I'm not. Anyway, I can't find the fish, but I do have the turtle, so let's just put this little turtle guy on. Let's see, he's just swimming up here. He may or may not get covered up. There we go. So we'll start with the big one. Don't know where that came from. That definitely is getting covered up. Look at that. Covered up. Well, maybe we're going to save the turtle. And if I find the fish, awesome. If not, that is fine too. So then I have the sentiment, which I put just a little note or a little note. Now this here is Old Olive, and just to give it a little little color behind it, I cut it in half. Put a little glue on either side. Then you stick it on like that. Try to best to get it even. There we go. And we'll just stick that on there. Okay, so there. Had to cover up a few mistakes, and I'll just cut that off. Anything that hangs out. There. Okay, and on the inside I just did one shell. So that's card number 3. Now the last card is pretty exciting, I think, because, sorry, it is a, oops, sorry, a top fold, and this here, if you can believe, is still Night of Navy, but it's turned into pearlescence. I saw that on YouTube today, so I thought I would give it a try. So I'm going to show you how that is done. So the first thing I did was cut a square out of the top of this card. And I have a copy of the, see that, pearlescence? And I'll show you how easy that was to do. And just so that you know, it is Night of Navy on the back. So isn't that pretty? Very pretty. So I will show you how that is made. I think I will. Oh, there it is. Oh, goodness. Now, I believe these brushes are new to Stampin' Up, and I bought this little bottle of paint. It's 75 Frost White all-purpose ink. You can use it for, it says everything, all kinds of paper, wood, fabric, leather, and many others. So we are going to use it on paper, and we're going to use one of these brushes. And let me see exactly what you call this. Frost White Shimmer Paint is what it's called. So, okay. What I did was do the shimmer first. So it just poured into a little container. And then you take your brush and you just go over it like this. It dries very quickly, so you don't have to worry about getting it all over everything. So, look at that. Isn't that very pretty? Of course, now I have fingerprints on it, but fix that up. Now, you don't want to leave this on your brush, and the video that I was watching said that you just use some alcohol and wash the paint off, and then I just used dish soap just to make sure that everything was out, because you don't want to ruin those. So that's how that turns out. So I'm going to let that dry, but you get the idea. So again, I used the die to cut that out, and so all you have to do, it's really quite an easy card, little bit more involved, and so then I just glued it along, which is very difficult in the sense that you're not gluing solid paper, so you just have to be a little careful. So let's see if I can get some of this done. Make sure I get it the right way. So I just put a little bit of glue on the edges. And once you get it in place the first time, then you have a better idea where to put the glue. And you need to position it so there's at least something to adhere to. Okay, so I've got that up there. Of course, it's not going to cooperate, is it? I know those are the edges that are going to be on the paper, so I'm okay. I'll just leave that for a second here. So this paint, if you really liked the look of that, goes on any paint, on any color cardstock, and it adds a beautiful shimmer. Let's see if I can get that. There it is. I did try it on another color, which turned out very nice, But I really do like the dark colors. I think is very stunning. Okay, I think that's going to be okay to dry. And I think I stole the inside from another card. But anyway, this is what I used again, that DSP paper and a couple of stamps from the other stamp set that we're using today, which was called Well Done. So that's where the fish are. And I know I have them attached to one of my mini stamp pads here today. But anyway, so that's what it looks like. And I'm just going to set that aside and finish that off later. And this one I made a happy birthday, and the saying that went into it, hope all your birthday fishes come true. Isn't that cute? Okay, so those are our cards today. I was very brave and tried 4 cards, so I hope you enjoyed them and that you will give them a try. And I think it was a lot of fun, so I enjoyed that. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next week. Have a great week, and thank you very much for joining me. Talk to you later. Thank you. Bye-bye.